Oh, the Democrats are having a bad week. Everything done cracked. You got Karoline Leavitt. She just bited a whole network live on TV. Letitia James just got exposed for 25 years of fraud. And Biden in the White House lied about the cocaine again. Yes, again. But these ain't headlines. These are patterns. Power lying, media covering, and the receipts finally are hitting the light. So we're going to get into it, y'all.
News alert. Primetime FOIA'd the Secret Service over the cocaine investigation.
Uh-oh.
And we just got back over 100 pages of documents. And the Secret Service has been lying to you about everything. Here's why. When the cocaine was first found, they said it was in the library where the first family lives.
We have a yellow bar stating cocaine, hydrochloride, very much found in the library.
Then there were reports that the cocaine was actually found outside the Situation Room.
Now the investigation has progressed, and so they're saying the West Executive entrance, which, as you noted, is closer to the Situation Room.
The Secret Service then said no. It was in a cubby with a lot of foot traffic around it. And yes, there are cameras, but that particular cubby was in a blind spot. How do you mistake the library for the Situation Room and the Situation Room for the cubbies? Because when I'm in a library, I know I'm in a library because there's books everywhere. Does it look like there's books everywhere? That's a wall of cubbies. They say the coke was found in locker number 50, right there in the middle. And there's a key missing. Now, what do you think the chances are that the Secret Service has the key? Because Primetime thinks the coke may have been planted in the cubby after it was found in the library. Good thing we have the documents from the Secret Service right here.
Uh-oh, the receipts.
But here's the thing.
Uh-oh, we got receipts. Now, look, they done moved the cocaine from the library to the Situation Room to a cubby. I'm telling y'all, they think we stupid.
The Secret Service redacted where the cocaine was first found. Now, if the cocaine was actually first found in the cubby and they photographed it in the cubby, why would they redact that? And then at one point, the Secret Service says the suspicious substance is a white powder in a small Ziploc bag on the redacted lobby floor.
Like we wouldn't notice.
What lobby floor?
Mm-hmm.
The lobby into what room? The library? And I thought they found the cocaine in the cubby. Well, the cubby's not on the floor. The cubby's on the wall. And later on in the night, they said it was in the cubby, and they didn't redact that. They want us to think it was found in that little locker.
Exactly. Why redact where the cocaine was found unless you're trying to hide something, y'all?
And initially, after the hazmat team tested it, the white powder came back positive for opioids and amphetamines. It was only after additional tests that they determined it to be cocaine. And that's confusing because on the audio you heard from hazmat, it was cocaine. A white powdery opioid? That's fentanyl. Maybe. I thought these tests were supposed to be accurate. So far, this bag has tested positive for opioids, amphetamines, cocaine, caffeine, and baking soda.
What?
But here's where it gets even more suspicious. They told us they didn't find any DNA.
Uh-oh.
But the documents say they did. Remember, the coke baggies been blown up. The Secret Service took the evidence from Quantico and they destroyed it. They didn't want the FBI to have it. But there's more evidence that they didn't destroy. An envelope with 3 tubes of DNA.
Oh, man.
Where'd they get the DNA from? They got the DNA off the baggie. So the Secret Service lied, and so did the White House. They did find DNA on the baggie, and the DNA was processed and has been moved to an evidence vault for preservation. So the Secret Service has an insurance policy. We asked the Secret Service for an explanation, and they said, oh, it's secondary DNA. But the initial Secret Service report clearly said there was no DNA found and there is no physical evidence. But the documents show they're keeping a DNA sample in an evidence locker. Is this so Biden's dog bites another agent, they have something? We don't know. And the Secret Service told Primetime they may end up destroying the DNA evidence at some point down the road. You know, protocol. Primetime asked the Secret Service, why didn't you take DNA samples from your suspect list? They said they would have needed a court order. This tells me two things. The Secret Service didn't want to crack the case, or the Secret Service knew the coke was found in the library and put it in a cubby and closed the case.
Oh, man, the Biden administration lied about everything. You moved the cocaine from the library to some cubby. Didn't think we would notice that. You say that you don't have DNA at all, but to find out that it's actually it had already actually been collected and stored. They are destroying evidence. And Kash Patel apparently is reopening the case, is what I'm seeing right here after the public was told it was closed months ago. I'm serious, though. Like, how did they confuse library with locker room? Like, come on now. They really think the lowest of the lowest of us. And if this was Trump's White House at the time, how many people do you think would be in handcuffs by now? It'd be a significant amount. You can't lose coke in the White House and just shrug it off unless somebody powerful was behind it. And if people investigating knew it, that's not incompetence, that's protection. That makes no sense, man. Now, I want y'all to look at this. And they talk about Donald Trump and how he's a threat and all this other type of stuff. But Karoline Leavitt, Trump's national press secretary, just left ABC speechless after this. Her best defense ever.
You want to talk about violence against political opponents? Let's talk about the fact that Democrats have been labeling President Trump a threat to democracy for the better half of 10 years. Let's talk about how they have compared him to Hitler, one of the worst mass murderers in the history of the world, and that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden weaponized the court system and the justice system in this country against Donald Trump in an attempt to imprison him. He sat through a courthouse for 7 weeks this past year, and the Democrats were hoping he would go to jail for it. That is real political violence that has led to 2 heinous assassination attempts on President Trump's life that, by the grace of God, he was able to escape, and he is here with us today. So yes, President Trump knows a little bit about political violence because he's experienced it himself. And talking about the tragic realities of war that Liz Cheney and her father, Dick Cheney, have got this country into is not political violence. It's talking about the reality of the foreign conflicts that the Washington, D.C. establishment have sold out young Americans to for decades.
Yet, of course, after those attempted assassination attempts on the former president's life, his opponents reached out to him and said they do not accept political violence. That has been a key difference. I do want to...
That has been the key difference. You really trying to sit here and prop Democrats on the moral high ground on this? Seriously? Watch this. Y'all, look, just watch this.
Accept political violence. That has been a key difference. I do want to play you.
No, please. His opponents are saying to this very day the same rhetoric that led to those 2 assassination attempts. The second attempted assassin on President Trump's life echoed the sentiment that President Trump is a threat to democracy. And if you're a deranged lunatic and you're mentally ill, you will believe that lie. And yes, you will take political violence like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day. And I am so sick and tired of the media pointing the finger at Donald Trump and saying that he is sowing division in this country. He is not. The media is for pushing hoaxes like the one that you all pushed today, and the Democrat Party is for pushing lies about him. But the good news is Americans don't buy it. And that's why today in 2024, President Trump is more popular than he has been since 2016 because people don't trust the media and they're not buying the Harris campaign's closing argument that he's some great threat to our democracy because they lived under him for 4 years as president and our democracy and our country was stronger than it is today.
I'm curious to see how family debates go in her household. Because, I mean, I would like to think the apple don't fall too far from the tree. Damn. That's all I can say is damn. She didn't even flinch. Not once. She brought up Trump's record on the economy, the border, and global peace. The things that real Americans, we actually care about versus this BS that they spew on. She called out the media bias and the selective outrage in real time. And the anchor had nothing to say back, trying to sit there and, well, you know, the Democrat opponents, his Democrat op said that they don't condone it. I don't want, what? Man. And she ain't trying to sound perfect. But she did. Because she believed what she was saying. And if this was Kamala Harris defending Biden, would ABC be pressing her like this or handing her cue cards? I'm trying to tell y'all, when y'all gonna stop messing with this current administration? They not here to play no games with y'all at all. She came in prepared, and that's the thing. The media is not used to that at all. They're not used to that. They're used to Republicans folding under pressure, but she flipped the whole interview, and I mean 60 seconds, and then after that last minute. Now, we're going to go into this whole Letitia James mortgage fraud situation because, like I told y'all, the Democrats ain't having a good week. You just seen them get chewed out with about the warfare against Trump. You just seen the cocaine issue being reinvestigated by Cashapp. Now, Pam Bondi is set to review 25 years of mortgage fraud from Letitia James. They said that this case stems from 25 years ago. Ooh, let me ask y'all a question, though. I want to ask y'all. If Letitia James lied on financial forms, how many people did she prosecute for the same thing?
James tried to prosecute the now President Trump in his second term. I just want to read a couple things. Criminal referral, then a response from James's office here in New York. James, for both properties listed above, this deals with real estate now, going back decades, really, appears to have falsified records in order to meet certain lending requirements and receive favorable loan terms, all right? Her office responded by saying the AG James is focused every single day on protecting New Yorkers. Specialist administration weaponizes the federal government against the rule of law and the Constitution. She will not be intimidated by bullies, no matter who they are. The issue here is what property she owned and whether or not she owned it, whether or not she was married, and whether or not her father was involved in all this. Without going into the weeds of the details, this stems from a case in 1983 and the year 2000. That's a minimum of 25 years. Someone had to do some digging to find this. Am I right about that?
Yeah. Bill, the most I know about the case, I just learned from you. I saw it on breaking news this morning. This case was sent to us from Bill Pulte. We have not seen it. I inquired right before I walked out here. No one in my office has read it yet. We haven't looked at it. Of course, we'll be reviewing it. You just told me more than I've heard about it so far.
Hey, we aim to please with some breaking news.
What?
Of our own, indeed. All right. Attorney General Pam Bondi.
I'm going to say, yo, Pam Bondi, man, you actually do something, man. Gosh. Even the people, Pam Bondi will actually take action on this because she knows Trump expects it. Quote, the most I know about this case comes from you, end quote, Pam Bondi. And, you know, putting the focus on who I need to put it on. This is the same Letitia James who campaigned on taking Trump down, okay? It's the same one. She's allegedly secured favorable loans by lying about her assets 25 years ago. And the documents are just resurfaced. Her response wasn't, I didn't do it. It was, I won't be bullied. And I think that's a huge difference, too. She didn't deny it. We got Pam Bondi confirming that the DOJ will be reviewing the case. So, yes, this is federal now. It is. Oh, man. I'm just saying, if Trump finances from 30 years ago and all these other, 20 years ago, it's fair game, why not hers from 25 years ago? Just saying, you got to love how karma works. She spent years trying to take down Donald Trump, for sure, man. But now it's her own paperwork that we got to look at. And she got to take down. And it might take her down. This is This ain't even political revenge. This is justice chasing justice, y'all. So, let's look at the pattern here, y'all. Karoline Leavitt showed up with confidence and backed up Donald Trump in the truth. You got Letitia James facing the same very kind of heat that she tried to send Donald Trump through in the White House. They still hoping that we forget or somehow catch amnesia about this mystery Coke bag. But now the truth is coming back up, y'all. Y'all be safe, man. I'm tired. I'm just tired of this. I'm just tired of this. I'm tired of being lied to. Tired of being told that the truth is a conspiracy. You are too? Yeah, me too. Y'all be safe. Go check on somebody today. You can quite literally be safe in their life. Peace.